conflict comes with the territory. We live in a world full of people with different perspectives, experiences, needs, and motivations. That's what makes each one of us unique and interesting to others. Now, if we were all the same, life would be quite boring. Our differences have a purpose: to enhance our lives and the lives of others. I know that many people like to think otherwise, but our differences are not what cause the problems between individuals. It is only when others' needs come in conflict with our own needs that problems start to surface. It may be difficult to see, but it is in the conflicts that we uncover the differences and capture diverse perspectives, which is the reason for interacting with others in the first place. As we noted before, at some point in time, my self-interest is going to get in the way of your self-interest, and this is going to cause the conflict between us. It happens all the time, which is why it's so amazing how so few of us are good at handling this common occurrence. Many people are so uncomfortable with conflict that they try to avoid it at all cost, thinking that somehow the conflicts will resolve themselves or simply vanish into thin air. All wishful thinking on their part, I'm afraid, because if problems and conflicts are ignored, smoothed over, or suppressed, they simply seethe underneath like an inactive volcano. As these hot spots churn and churn just beneath the surface, the hot molten rock, ash, and gases become volatile. One day, without warning, the volcano erupts, and the hot lava, ash, and gases escape from below the surface in a spectacular but harmful display of destructive power. Unresolved conflict can lead to resentment and anger and create additional unresolved conflicts in a relationship. On top of that, ongoing conflict can actually have a negative impact on your health and longevity. Now, I'm not trying to be overly dramatic, just trying to drive a point home that unresolved conflict can, literally, kill you. This is another hard lesson that took me a long time to learn, and one I haven't yet mastered. The best way to deal with conflict is to go toward the conflict and not away from it. The problem is that if you don't handle the conflict properly, you can make it worse than it was before. For example, if you go in criticizing the other person, cutting the other person down, not listening to the other's point of view, or shutting yourself down during the argument instead of working through the conflict in a proactive way, then you are simply turning up the heat within the volcano. No, you need to go into a conflict with open communication. When dealing with conflict, you not only have to express your needs and feelings effectively, but you need to effectively listen to the other person's needs and perspective. To come to a resolution, you need to understand where the other person is coming from and what his or her motivation is. By listening and understanding the other person, you can bridge that gap between the two of you and identify where the disconnection lies. I've got a secret for you. It's common for people to think that they're listening to you, but they're not. Instead of listening, their heads are busy formulating their next response to you, thinking to themselves how wrong you are, or doing things other than trying to understand what your perspective is. They also become so defensive and entrenched in their own perspective that they, literally, can't hear your point of view. Now, here's a trick to bypass all of that. One I wished I learned sooner in life. Don't do what others do to you. Instead, actually listen to what they have to say. Let them get all their talking, feelings, and frustrations out first. Resist the urge to interrupt and just let them get it all out. Summarize and repeat back your understanding of what they were saying so they know you're listening to them. Focus on the emotions they are feeling. Keep the focus on them until they feel better. Once you've taken care of their need to be heard and understood, it's your turn to let your feelings be known. Communicating your feelings and needs clearly is an important aspect of conflict resolution. If you ever said the wrong thing in the heat of a moment, you know that saying the wrong thing can add fuel to the volcano and make the conflict worse. It is important to remember to say what's on your mind in a way that is clear and assertive, without being aggressive or putting the other person on the defensive. One effective way of doing this is to put things in terms of how you feel, using I feel statements, rather than what you think the other person is doing wrong. Now, once all the feelings and needs are out in the open, it is time to brainstorm a solution to the conflict. Sometimes the solution is quite clear, but other times it's more difficult. If a compromise or a middle ground cannot be found, then sometimes you can agree to disagree. The important thing is to come to a place of understanding and try to work things out in a way that's respectful to all involved. Again, it is in conflicts that we uncover the differences and capture diverse perspectives, which is the reason for interacting with others in the first place.